And we're hot.
Back in the studio.
Here we are on another cold night.
Not as cold as it was last night.
No, but what happened to spring? I was wearing shorts. The last time you recorded, you were in a pair of shorts.
Yep.
So
that wind was brutal yesterday.
It was bad. I didn't go outside.
I didn't go out much yesterday.
Well, I went to Fred's over there to put out a camera and just check for turkey sign. A little disappointed, but it would have warmed up some, probably in the 50s by then, but the wind was
still windy.
Oh, yeah, it was cold.
It was fairly nice today after it warmed up. Still windy, but.
Well, we had a full weekend.
Still going.
Well, yeah, you hadn't stopped yet. I mean, we celebrated your birthday Saturday night, and we got up at 5 o'clock, left at 6, headed down to my property in Dallas County. You told me it wouldn't take you half a day to get it done, and you was about right, because we had to, if anybody hadn't seen some pictures of stuff I posted, we cleaned out up a bunch of brush and debris and berm, if you want to call it a berm, across the middle of a field. But you didn't even get started till after 10.
Yeah, it was pretty close to 11.
And while you did that, I went out and dumped the corn out of feeders and moved game cameras around and went and checked some spots. And I was on the last spot I was going to check when you text me. Well, check without you. Said you were done, equipment was loaded, and you was taking a break. And I looked, and it was like 1:30.
Yeah.
So I got back over there by 2. We ran back to the camp, checked one other spot, put out a camera, and, it really took us longer to drive down and back than it did to do the work.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, and I appreciate it. It needs it. Oh, it's going to look so good.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I plant them chufas down that middle. It's going to stand out.
Maybe a little small summer plot at the end down there, so you're messing your.
Yeah, I may dish that up and put some iron clay peas or something in there. I mean, they'll eat that up in one night. But
oh yeah,
I've been reading up on the chufas. Then I went checked out the NWTF. Their chufa's $125 a bag.
Mm-hmm.
I don't guess that's bad, but they don't guarantee age. They don't guarantee germination. They take all liability off themselves. They don't, it could be 2-year-old seed, 3-year-old, I guess. It could be fresh. Then I called Fedders up here. I said, hey, I'm looking for some chufa seed. You got any? He said, I got 2 50-pound bags. I said, how much are they? He said, $80. Well, that's a no-brainer. Now, those are probably last year's.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. I said, well, I'll get them, Monday. I said, if you don't sell them, he said, I don't think there'll be a run on them between now and Monday. So, because I told him, I said, you're not open when I go to work. You close when I come home. So.
And you'll be gone for the weekend.
I'll be gone for the weekend. So I'll pick up a bag. Unless you're wanting a bag, I can get both of them. 50 pounds will plant an acre. So I don't know. I'm not going to have an acre's worth there. It's basically disc it up, and they need to be 1.5 inches in the ground. I don't know. I'm going to let it just grow. I'll have the seed here, put it up in the shop or something or stay dry. I'm going to let it just grow natural until turkey season's over. Planting time's May to April to June, something like that. But yeah. May, he said, is better when the ground's warm. Well, I'm not going to get up there and mess up anything during turkey season, so I'll spray it maybe the last time I'm there. I might have to run down there before we go to Canada, but kill everything, then go disc it and plant it.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know exactly. I guess I'll just plant it by hand, drop them, and step on them. I don't know. I don't want to disc over them.
Yeah.
It's not like wheat. Last time I planted them, I didn't have no luck, and I don't have a drill. So
I had one of those little, the little push seeders that you can set the depth on, and I think Wade's got it. But I mean, no bigger than that is. You could do that.
Yeah.
And you know where your rows were laid off. Yeah. I do know a fella that's got a single row planter.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if he's got a plate big enough to. I don't know if he'd let me leave with it.
Oh, I was talking about my nephew's.
I thought you were talking about my dad.
My nephew's got a Covington.
Oh, my dad does too.
So,
an old one?
Yeah.
Oh, red one?
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad's got one.
Yep.
That's what he plants his corn with.
Yep. Same with them. They plant a lot of corn.
If you got all your plates, every plate's different, different size holes for, I guess, different stuff you're planting. It'd be nice because it lays the row and drops the seed and covers it up.
Yep.
If he's got one we could use, I might give it a try.
Oh, yeah. We make a tag team that. I could haul my tractor with the planter already hooked in. Yeah. You take the disc, and that's just...
We'd have it planted in 10 minutes. Seemed like a...
Might plant that end down there.
Well, I could plant the end down there, to be honest with you.
Like I say, that club I was in Fayette, all our little pull-offs we had, instead of, messing the green fields up, that's what we did. I mean, they were about a disc wide, and we just disc and put you for wherever we could put it all over that 1,600 acres. And, man, it looked like hogs had been in there after when they got done with it. It was crazy.
Well, that's a ways to go. We got a lot of turkeys killed before then.
We got a lot of miles to travel to.
Speaking of miles, we're going to talk to somebody quite a few miles away from us.
Yeah.
Tonight, we're going to talk with Steve Green of Southern Grown Hunting. Is that what he calls it?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if he'd changed outdoors or not, but Southern Grown Hunting. He's lives outside Gainesville. What is it called?
Alachua.
Alachua. I always call it Alachua, but it's Alachua. So anyway, we're going to talk to him a little bit about what he does, what he's doing, what he's going to be doing. He's a heck of a turkey hunter.
He's always doing something.
Him and Eddie Salter's good friends. He hunts with Eddie during the early season. He deer hunts up near Eddie's house. He's got a lease up that way. So what do you say? You want to go talk to him?
Let's talk to Steve. And we're here tonight with our good friend Steve Green. Steve, you there?
I am.
How you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
Man, we're good. If we was any better, we'd have to have a twin.
That's it. That's it.
I don't think my wife would want another one of me. So, what you been up to? We haven't really talked much other than running into each other here at a trade show or something. Occasionally, how is
Well, just.
No, go ahead.
Said I just been busy with work, getting things done. But I got my youngest son got married a couple of weeks ago, and married just a lovely, lovely young lady, and we're so proud of her and him. And so I got, we had that going on after Christmas and getting ready for that. But I've been wide open getting ready for Eddie Salter to get here like he does every year for opening week of turkey season. And then in the last couple of years, I've had the whole small town hunting crew comes in. So that opening week is a barn burner. And so I've got a lot of stuff happening, and we're getting ready for turkey season, and I'm just fired up about it. That switch has definitely flipped for me, and trying to stay calm. I still got another 3.5 weeks for opening day.
You got less time than we do. So
well, we know you're like definitely. Us. You're thinking turkeys all year round, whether it's turkey season or not. We know what kind of work you put in down there because we've had the privilege to hunt with you.
Well, and for people that don't know, now you do all this under your Southern Grown Hunting. Is that?
Yeah, I do. It's actually started the whole business that I started is called Southern Land and Wildlife, and I do a lot of property work to trade out for hunting rights and things like that. And then there's also a few landowners that we've we'll lease the land from them, but we got the 4 that Eddie brings. What I do is we have a couple of people in our church that are doing missions work, and so I started thinking about a way to raise money for them. So the hunters pay a landowner fee, and of course they pay Eddie for his time, and I just donate my efforts, and that's one of the ways I'm able to raise money for missions. And so it works out real well for everybody involved. And of course, I will say this, one of the biggest things that I've had as a benefit of this was being able to spend so much time with Eddie in the turkey woods. The missions offerings and things are wonderful. The work that's going to be the number one thing. The one lady goes all over the Middle East doing work in countries where she has to kind of hide hide her agenda, for
Bless
fear
her
of
heart.
retaliation.
That's dangerous. Very dangerous.
She's tough, man. She's tough, but she's a retired nurse. But getting to spend all the time with Eddie in the woods and watching him and just learning from him, in different scenarios has changed my life as a turkey hunter. It's made me a whole lot better turkey hunter than I would have been otherwise. So that's been a real joy to experience.
Well, that's exactly how we met you. We came down with Eddie. Couple of times. So.
Yeah, sure did. And I want to say this. I was thinking about that second time that y'all came down. We got in on, I think it's probably been the most exciting hunt that I've ever been on. And we still did, and we ended up killing a turkey that morning.
No.
But I know what y'all talking. You already probably know what I'm talking about.
I know
exactly. That morning,
I tell people the same thing, Steve. Go ahead.
Unreal. Four gobblers in front of us, 4 gobblers behind us. Eddie's sitting in the middle. We're spanned out on both sides, and he's working a mouth call and 2 sticks on a pot call. And we had 8 gobblers just literally blowing the leaves out of the trees. And it was the craziest experience I've ever had. They were all within 60 yards.
Yep.
Sometimes within 30 yards.
Just
unreal.
The shot opportunity never presented itself. And do you remember him making that noise, that call that he didn't even know what it was? Me and Dustin, we looked at each other, and Dustin goes, "Have you ever heard that before?" And I said, "No." We were.
I ain't heard him make it. I haven't heard him make it before or since.
Well, when we walked up to you, that's the first thing you asked us. Can you believe that? Have you ever heard anything like that? And,
I was in shock.
Yeah, it was crazy. And we asked him about it, and he said, sometimes I just make a noise because, he followed those turkeys around that his mama got him.
Yeah.
He followed them turkeys around, and because they raised some wild turkeys too, and they got mixed in with their native turkeys. And he listens. Sometimes he'll make a call and don't know why he's doing it.
That's what he said. It feels right, or it just comes out, or I don't.
I mean, if they wasn't 4 of us to have experienced that and back that up, people would think we were lying. It was just crazy.
Oh yeah.
If just one of
us was insane
had recorded that, it would have been the most amazing.
Oh, I know.
Just audio on the phone. It's crazy.
It could have been a game changer.
Oh yeah. I've never seen it happen before. I've never seen it since. And to have those 8 gobblers just screaming their heads off. And just everything that happened, the him calling, everything that was going on, I didn't know which way to look. I didn't know if I should look left, right, forward, back. I didn't know what to do.
I couldn't even breathe. I'm like you. It's like they're everywhere, but right there in front of the barrel. Yeah, I know. It was I don't know how many people, probably dozens by now. If I'm asked my most memorable turkey hunt or a turkey hunt that stands out, that's it. And we didn't even pull the trigger.
Never pulled the trigger.
And it don't matter. And that's usually the way it is. The most memorable hunts are generally the ones that get away. And having him doing that calling and doing what he did, oh my gosh, it was just unbelievable.
Yeah, anytime you have an encounter with a wild turkey and you have any kind of exchange at all, you've succeeded. That's a good hunt. Doesn't matter if you kill one or not.
I tell everybody I was hooked the very first time I had one gobble back at me. I didn't kill him. Yes. I don't even know if I was hunting. I might have been just standing out there on the edge of the woods. I used to do a lot of work on these cell towers when I was in my younger days. And I'd stop sometimes where I knew this turkeys, just get out with a pot call and call a little bit. And I had one gobble at me. Me and my brother had played turkey hunt for a couple of years and never had any luck. But when that one gobbled, I was eat up with it. It was from then on, it was on. And
oh yeah.
So
yeah.
Well,
it's one of those things where I think, and I know we'll probably reference him a couple of times tonight because it says, it just basically either it bites you or it don't. And you can't manufacture it. It's one of those things where either you're a turkey hunter or you're not. And I don't fault anybody that don't want to turkey hunt. It doesn't bother me a bit. But if you get bit by the bug, you're bit.
You're
That's all there is
exactly
to it.
right. I mean, just like old Dean Redbeard says, it's a disease. You just get afflicted with it. You can't.
That's exactly
you can't
right.
help yourself. I mean, and this got
Let me tell you
worse.
this.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, the last few days, when I started seeing the turkeys and really getting into it, I had to calm myself down because my guts were literally in knots. Just already and like I said, we're a month out, but I had 2 or 3 days in a row there that my I had that pit of my stomach, just that churning from that anticipation and the anxiousness of waiting for opening day and just seeing a few turkeys, on camera and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I mean, you got to calm yourself down. You're still a month away.
Still got work
But
to do.
man, I love it. I love it.
You can't, I don't know how to explain it. And I know most people that listen to us, they probably turkey hunt, or they may not, but they hunt of some kind. But this, a turkey does something totally different to a hunter, man or woman, child, whatever, to me, than even a 150, 160 class buck walking out on you does. It's
100%.
I just don't understand. I've never understood it, and I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's completely different. And that turkey can be just a 2-year-old turkey, not 6.5-year-old 200-inch deer. It's just
That's right.
and that I think,
And I love both of them.
I love them both.
of them, but they're different.
They're
different.
They're completely different.
Yeah.
And like most probably diehard turkey hunters, if I had to give up one, I'll give up the deer before I give up the turkey. And
I just hope I don't have to make that decision.
you and me both. I'd be.
Yeah, but at the same time, because I'm glad there are 2 different parts of the year. Because I don't know if I had to choose which one I'd have to choose, on a daily basis. But the fact that you can hunt deer up until end of January, early February in South Alabama, and actually down in the Panhandle of Florida, you can hunt all the way up till the 1st of March. And their rut down there is the last week of February.
Oh, wow.
And then you go into turkey season on the 21st, or somewhere between the 15th and the 21st every year. You got a 2-week break, maybe 3 at most. I'm glad that happens because I wouldn't want to have to make that decision. It's like you said, in the springtime, I don't even think about deer. I'm focused on turkeys. But in the fall, I'm already thinking about spring's coming.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
That's the best thing about Christmas and New Year's in my book. It's, man, I've only got a couple of months to go and it'll be springtime again. So
that's it. But yeah, it's a love that I've developed over the years, and watching so many people enjoy it and getting to be a part of so many first Osceolas, first turkeys, that kind of thing has been special. And it's created a big desire in me to help people, realize their dreams. Of course, Jesse Fish got his helped him get his first turkey and second turkey, and that's been a great thing. And all the people I've met over the years and got to just become good friends with, it's been a great thing for me. And but there's very few things that get me as excited as I do every February and early March. It's like I said, it really is kind of, sometimes I have to chastise myself and make sure that I'm keeping things in the right perspective, because it can get out of hand pretty quick.
Well, how young were you? When did you decide I'm going to hunt a turkey?
I was actually in my early 20s. I'd been deer hunting my whole life, and I grew up quail hunting. My grandfather was a big quail hunter, and back then was quail everywhere. And this would have been in the late 70s, early 80s. There was still a lot of quail, and so we deer hunted, but we also did a lot of quail hunting. And then we didn't have a lot of wild turkey. We didn't have a lot of turkeys back then, and so through my late teen years, I was really strong into deer hunting. And then a friend of mine at work kept talking about going turkey hunting. Of course, I'd seen a lot of turkeys in the woods, but I was in the fall. I never had been in the spring. And so he came over and to a place that we had access to. And there was a sod farm next to a 40-acre tract that we had. And turkeys would come out on the edge of that sod farm. And so we hunted all morning one morning, and nothing happened. And then late in the morning, like 10:30, we struck a gobbler. And I think it was 3 hens and him come out of the tree line, come right up there to us, strutting, gobbling, carrying on. And it's the first time I'd ever seen the whole thing. And I was probably 23, 24, something like that. And that's when the bug started biting. And then by the time I went on my first, solo turkey hunt and killed a turkey, that was the end of that. I mean, I was, from that point forward, I was done. There was not a spring going to go by that I wasn't going to be in turkey woods as much as I could possibly be.
Well,
and thankfully have killed a lot of turkeys, but I've been with a lot more people that have killed turkeys and watched them go down. And so the benefit of being able to take other people and see and get to be a lot involved in a lot more hunts, I should say, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, especially doing what you do, and so many people come down that you take hunting. A lot of people, I don't know how many firsts you've took over the years, but I imagine
bunch.
It's been a bunch. And
Yeah.
just like anybody when they kill their first deer and first turkey, I think I get more. Excuse me. I think I get more excited than they are sometimes. Just getting to do it, and then with what you do there. Just like with Jesse Fish and all, I guess that kind of brought all that to the surface for me, was following along on, Jesse's crusade. And of course we had, and through that, we've actually got to know him. We had him on the podcast. What a super guy. I mean, but.
Oh man, great guy. And Jesse's one of the most genuine, compassionate, kind people. And I'm just grateful that, he's one of those that I just got to meet, that he'll be a lifelong friend. He's been at my hunting camp in Alabama, deer hunting, and stuff like that. I mean, what kind of price would you put on that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's not one. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. Yeah, we spend a lot of time, all of us as hunters, deer hunters, turkey hunters, whatever, quail hunter, whatever you do. If you're dedicated to it, you spend a lot of time and a lot of money. But what you get out of it, you can't touch with money.
No,
it's just
not at all.
So it's
what would a guy pay to spend as much time in the woods as I have with Eddie, to be able to just follow him around and watch him do that for years now? I
wish I could just come in and move in with you and just kind of shadow around behind you. I'd sit at the truck if I could hear him, just to, not only listen to him call and how he does it, but it's all those little words of wisdom you'll get in between the hunts, or on the walk in, the walk out, sitting there at lunch.
Yep.
It's amazing too, like how he knows just from sounds what the birds are potentially going to do. I mean, it's just crazy.
Oh yeah.
He can put himself like one step ahead of the bird. It's one of those things, like I said, and he gets beat, just like everybody else. He gets his butt handed to him, and he'll tell you that's just the way it happens. Ain't nobody going to kill them all.
Well,
and
would it be fun if you did? It wouldn't be. I mean,
no,
that's the challenge.
When you watch him call gobblers off of hens using a box call and a mouth call at the same time, and I tell you, one of the biggest lessons he ever taught me was one of the first hunts we ever went on. And actually, it was the first time I ever went with him on. And turkey was gobbling, and it's that same property where we got on those 8 gobblers. This is several years earlier. We walked out there, turkey's gobbling, and it's my first hunt with Eddie. My dad was there, and we're walking and, getting close to the turkeys, and they're on the roost. And we get up there and we find a place to sit down about 125 yards out in the hardwoods, and we all get set up. Turkey's gobbling. He said word one. And I'm sitting there thinking, when's he going to call this turkey? And so we get everybody situated, get Dad sat down. I get sat down next to Eddie, and I'm just watching. I can't wait to see what's fixing to happen. And he gets his calls out, and he gets everything ready, gets his head net on, sits there up against a tree, leans his head back against a tree. And I thought he went to sleep. I'm thinking, what in the world is going on? And so we're sitting there. And about that time, one of those turkeys gobbled. And before the gobble got out of his mouth, Eddie was in him. Eddie come off that tree and cut and yelped and did that 2 or 3 times and had them fired up. And they were gobbling their heads off. And that was an exercise in patience that I had never seen before. And I thought, well, I'd have done called, 5 or 6 times before we got sat down. And so I learned something there. I didn't know yet what I'd learned, but I knew I'd learned something. And then they gobbled a little bit, and he got quiet, and he didn't call. By this time, they're on the ground. And we're sitting there. I'm thinking, hey, what's fixing to happen? I mean, why are we just sitting here? Turkey gobbled, and Eddie was right back into him again. Before it was over with, he had to use a box call and a mouth call because they had hens with him. And he told me that. He said, look, I'm fixing to have to call pretty aggressive because they got hens with them, and I'm not going to be able to get them over here unless I get aggressive with them. So he picked up that box call and went to work, and that mouth call went to work simultaneously. In about 45 seconds, they were standing there. And Dad killed his first spring gobbler. And so I asked him later, I said, well, why did you wait so long? And he said, well, let me ask you a question. He said, when you call to a gobbler and he cuts you off, how does that make you feel? I said, man, I love it when he cuts me off. That means he's fired up. He said, well, that's what I do to them. He said, when the gobbler, I wait for him to gobble, and before he gets it out of his mouth, I cut him off. And it makes him feel the way you feel whenever a gobbler cuts you off. And he said, that's the way I kill a lot of turkeys, is I go ahead and get them fired up because they think I'm overeager. I'm an overeager hen, and they will leave and come to me. And that one lesson has killed more turkeys for me than probably any single lesson that I've ever learned outside of patience from Eddie Salter.
I hope everybody listening to this jots that down or puts it back in their little memory bank in their brains, because that right there is a piece of turkey hunting advice you won't never hear from anybody else.
No. No, but he would not call to that turkey until that turkey gobbled, and he would not throw a yelp out there or a cut or anything, because that turkey, he knew that turkey was going to gobble again sometime, and he'd wait as long as it took for that turkey to gobble before he hit him. Now, if it would have went on 15, 20 minutes, he probably would have thrown a little something out there. But, that 5 minutes we waited for that turkey to gobble, that didn't bother him one bit. He was ready to wait on him. But I mean, when I tell you he come off that tree, he come off that tree.
I can imagine.
It was instant. Yeah, it was instant. He cut and yelped to that turkey, and I mean, there was 2 gobblers, and they was gobbling all over top of one another. And that one morning made me a better turkey hunter from everything I saw up until everything I learned up until that point. But that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Just that spending time in the woods with people, and you can learn. Eddie will tell you he's going to learn from anybody he goes with. You never know it all. You can learn from anybody.
Oh yeah. What impressed me hunting with him, and I ain't trying to turn this into the Eddie Salter show, but how's his heart?
No,
it's
you know what I'm saying.
Person. But
yeah.
he would ask us questions. Well, how do you do it?
Yes.
Or even, you've got a world champion caller with you. That's like, boys, don't, call. Don't just sit here with me. He'll be back there behind us somewhere. When when you feel you need to call. You know, I'm almost embarrassed to call around that man. I mean,
I thought it was pretty neat too. He would ask about setups.
Yeah.
Where do y'all want to set up, or where do y'all think we should set up? So, I mean, I was hoping to be a sponge off him, but I mean, he was asking questions, and I mean, we just learned a lot off each other, I guess.
Well, that's the whole point, and that's what I'm getting at. There's a lot of people that I've hunted with, nobody will ever know. And I've learned. I'll give you another example. There's a guy down here, real good friend of mine, and his name is Andy. He is that guy. I'd hate to even know how many turkeys have met their demise because of him. He is born and raised into it. And by the way, you're talking about getting nervous. When he was younger, one opening morning, he was headed to the woods. He had to pull over to the side of the road and get out, and he actually ended up getting sick on his stomach because he was so worked up because it was opening morning of turkey season, and he just had to get it out of his stomach because he was just, you know, he actually just got so upset. So wound up, he made him vomit.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And but that's how excited he gets. But he's another one that I've spent time with, and we've done a lot of hunting together. And that guy has taught me a whole lot too, and we've learned a lot from each other. But he's taught me more than I've ever learned than he's ever learned from me. I can tell you. And so people like that are just, nobody knows who they are, nobody knows anything about them. You know, find people like that and just hang around them. Do whatever you have to. Don't even take a gun. Just go spend time with them. But man, there's guys out there like that that'll just, they can get it done when nobody else can. You know, they take pride in going into a piece of public ground where nobody can kill that turkey that everybody's talking about and going in there and getting it done. You know, they've learned some hardcore lessons, and I love being around guys like that.
That's who you want to be around. I mean,
absolutely.
You know, they hunted the hard times, the good times. You know, when there wasn't no turkeys, when we had more turkeys than we ever had. I mean, I hunted with a guy like that in Barber County. I used to hunt a place down there. He was from Arkansas. He was just a guest, but he was, God, I guess he was in his late 70s back then, so that was in the early 90s. And, you know, he sat down with me. I mean, we didn't hunt together, but we sat around the camp house, you know, after the morning hunt. And if you was truthful enough, you know, most of them old guys, they didn't like to tell you a whole lot, but he was a talker. I mean, he told me one morning he had heard, that's the most turkeys he had heard in years gobble that wherever they were hunting at on that property. And it was covered up with turkeys. And we were in our heyday. But yeah, he was telling me he carried a rolled up garbage bag, black, like a hefty bag with him. And he laid that out on the ground. Now, this was the old time hunter. He had his cushion, of course. Mm-hmm. He set it on top of that. And he would, before he sat down, he carried a can of Yard Guard. Now, this is long before, you know, good bug sprays and treating your clothes. And he would spray that Yard Guard all the way around him. And when he sat down, he never moved. He was there until the hunt was done, and he come back to the house. And he said, that turkey, if he answers you, he's going to come. He said, it might be 4:00 in the afternoon. That turkey will eventually circle around to where he heard you at. And he was a firm believer in it. And now, do I have the patience? I do have a lot more patience I used to. But to set from, you know, sunrise to nearly dark, well, of course, we did that down there with you that last day we hunted. Yep. You know, we sat over there on that place till almost roosting time for Dustin killed his couple hours for me, but it seems like I'm always the last one to shoot. But, anywhere we go, I'm the last hour, the last minute of the last day. So, yeah.
Well, you know, you hit on something with all the videos and everything that have come out and all the hype around the running and gunning style, which if that's what hunters want to do, that's totally fine. I mean, you don't need my permission. And I understand if you want to, it's kind of like bass fishing. You know, there's some ways I don't care about bass fishing anymore. I want to fish a certain way. And if I don't catch them, I'm fine with that. I just don't want to have to fish this type of lure because I just don't enjoy it, if that makes sense. And so people can do what they want to do. That's not the issue. But I have learned from these other guys that are very successful on some of these difficult turkeys, you better have a comfortable seat, and you better not move, and you better be patient. And about the time you think you need to get up and move, you need to sit still and
100%.
wait longer. And that's something that has helped me kill some of them difficult turkeys, is just being extremely patient. I sat, one evening, I think I sat 5 hours to kill a turkey I'd been after, but I did kill him. And I killed him, like I say, right before fly-up time. And it wasn't glamorous. It wasn't, a big show. It was, he gobbled a couple times and then snuck his way in, but I did get him. And there was a lot of satisfaction in that. But, that's tough.
Very
a lot
tough.
of guys don't want to do that, and I understand it. But, yeah, that being patient is something that I think is a lost art with a lot of people. They want to move too much. And that's definitely key. One of the things that you brought up about we were talking about it. I think we're starting to see some things that's kind of coming out. People are criticizing the NWTF this year and different things going on. One of the things that I've been noticing is there's been a lot of vitriol, a lot of negativity with people. And I know what it was. You're talking about the gentleman that would talk to you. A lot of guys wouldn't talk.
Yeah,
This guy would talk.
Well, the old timers. They had to be secretive back in the early days. But,
right. Well, that's because there wasn't hardly any
right.
turkeys.
Exactly.
But so here's what I found. There's a lot of conversation right now about whether it's residents, non-residents, or whether it's too many turkey hunters, or the NWTF's done got too big, or whatever it is. There's not room for anybody else to come in. We don't need any more turkey hunters. And my philosophy on that is, I couldn't disagree more with that philosophy. I think we need more turkey hunters. But the guys that want to keep everybody else out versus the guys that are willing to teach and bring new people in, I'm just going to say it. I think, number one, you're selfish if you're thinking that way, that you want to keep everybody else out. But if you get around guys that really know what they're doing, most of them are more than glad to teach and to share and to do things, because they're very comfortable in their ability to get it done.
Yes.
They're not worried about sharing what they have, because they're not concerned about you invading their territory. They've got places they'll find a turkey somewhere to hunt, and they're more than glad to share and more than glad to mentor and teach, as long as people are willing to learn. But I think that's a key indicator in my mind. Not obviously 100%, but if you find people that are wanting to keep everybody out and not wanting to share the experience, I don't know that those are the guys that are really getting it done, or getting it done the right way. Because all the guys that I hang out with that are sure enough turkey killers, they're glad to share whatever they have.
Well, I think you're right. I think these guys that, and the ones that complain the most, and I have complaints like everybody else. Listen, Alabama opens up so late now that we don't have a problem with a whole lot of people coming in wanting to hunt early with us. Like not like in Mississippi or down in your part of the country in southern Florida.
Oh yeah,
but I had this issue. Me and Dustin run Alabama Turkey Hunters Facebook page, and we had a guy this morning that was talking about some of that. But one of these keyboard warriors got on there, and it was just a rant of vulgar ugliness. I'm talking about ugliness, and I don't put up with that. I booted him right on off. I mean, the comment was deleted, and he was booted off, and that started a whole nother conversation. It was actually real good. I mean, we just don't put up with that kind of stuff. We're not going to belittle nobody. If you're doing it the way it's supposed to be done and it's legal, you know, you can have an opinion about fanning. If it's legal where you hunt, go for it. That's my opinion. Whether I want to do it or not do it, that's my business. We have enough people against us.
That's right.
I mean, there is enough.
That's right.
There's enough anti-hunters or people that just don't even understand what we do, you know, against us. Why are we fighting with each other?
It's ridiculous.
It is.
I agree with you. It's ridiculous.
And you're right.
Yeah, it's if it's legal and you want to do that to kill you get 2 turkeys in the state of Florida. If you want to kill your 2 turkeys by doing whatever's legal, you're not going to get anything from me except congratulations. If I choose to do things the way I do because that's the way I want to do it. I don't want somebody telling me what I can do.
No.
With what's legal, you know. I have enough respect for my other sportsmen to say, if that's what you want to do and it's legal, then have at it. I'm not going to ever speak out against that. But, you know, as long as you're keeping within your limit and you're doing the other things that are legal, yeah, have at it. I'm going to support you in that. And these guys that are just throwing all this stuff out there like you're talking about, why are we beating each other up? That makes no sense.
No sense whatsoever. Now, one thing I think we could do, I'm far from an influencer, these big influencers on, you know, a turkey hunter today, a deer hunter, any hunter for that matter, with YouTube and the things that's out there, the tutorials, the things you can learn, that wasn't available for me. I had nobody.
No, me neither.
I didn't even have a father he rabbit and squirrel hunted. He didn't even deer hunt. So, you know, I learned everything on my own, the slow, the hard way, which sometimes I think was the best way because you don't forget that lessons. But I think, and I may have heard Waddell talking about this too, but I think a lot of these young hunters, they watch all these videos and it's all about killing that turkey. They they think you just walk out in the woods and they run up there and jump in your lap. And there's going to be to every one turkey you kill, you're going to have 50 failures probably.
A bunch.
Well, I mean, look at Jesse Fish. I mean, he's a perfect example. I mean, that man hunted hard and he didn't kill a turkey for what, 8 years or something?
10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
And
so
I think the one thing we can all do better for the young hunters is to let them know, you know, yeah, you can buy your license, get your calls, your vest, your gun. You can be the best caller in the world, but if you don't know how to apply that in the turkey woods, and have patience, like you said, you're not going to be successful.
Woodsman skills.
Oh, woodsman skills.
Wood skills.
That's above calling in my book.
Oh yeah. I mean, where to sit down to me is the biggest thing.
Yes.
If you can figure out where to sit down and how to sit down the right way, if all you can do is cluck and yell, you'll kill a lot more turkeys than if you can't figure that first part out.
And we learned this kind of, a living example. Last year we went to Illinois. First time me and I guess Dustin too, had ever turkey hunted in Illinois. We deer hunted up there before, but we weren't familiar with those woods. And, you know, going back to when we got up there, if we'd have spent the first day basically just walking around and kind of do a little scouting, I guess, it was turkey season, but learn the woods to where you knew when that bird gobbled here, you need to go there. We wouldn't have wasted a couple, 2 or 3 days, you know, not being set up in the right spot or not knowing how to get to when we heard gobbling. And we heard lots of turkeys. We saw lots of turkeys and we were both successful, but it took 3 days for you.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, last morning of the last day for Anthony, but
boy, we had a show
and we knew where to go though. You know, I had been, we had kind of split up the day before on the one when I was hunting after he had done killed. And that next morning we knew when we heard one gobble, I said, we got to go right down here. That's where they're going to be. You know, I knew the lay of the land, the woodsmanship. That's what killed the turkey. Now the calling. Yeah. I mean, that brought him and some hens in and everything else. But you've got to know the woods. And like you said, which tree to get on. I mean,
which tree to get on, which way to face, all those things.
Keep that sun behind you if you can. I mean, there's all kinds of factors. And it's just not going out and hooting on a hooter 2 or 3 times and get one to gobble and go sit down and the joker fly off the limb. But does it happen? Yeah, it's happened to me before. We lucked up. I say luck. Well, it was luck. I forgot a call in my truck and was going back to the truck, left Dustin over there on the ridge. And on my way back, I walked under a roost tree and they weren't roosted there that morning. This was a little bit later up in the morning, but I knew enough to when you see all the turkey droppings on the ground and that, 80-foot tall pine tree standing there, that's a roost tree. We're going to be right over here, a couple 100 yards from that tree. And sure enough, they were roosted there that next morning. You can't hunt but to, 12 or 1 o'clock up there.
Yeah. Right.
And sure enough, they flew down and worked their way right around, little soft calling, brought the hens around, drug him with them, and Dustin was successful. And, it's just, you got to know those things that's the stuff you don't learn by watching a video of somebody making a couple of calls and the turkey working into them and boom, in a minute and a half, the hunt's over. They're not showing that 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 hours, whatever.
Weeks.
Sometimes weeks or years, but I will give Dave Owens a little credit. He's pretty good about explaining his setups and that kind of thing. I don't watch a lot of him.
He is.
But he's pretty good at explaining. I think that's why he has this huge following. And
I think so too. Yeah.
And he's a likable guy. I wish I could call half as good as he can. But
oh yeah. But he'll tell you the same thing. I mean, he'll tell you that woodsmanship is a lot different than calling. And I'll say this, the small town hunting crew, what you see on their shows, now that I spent two weeks with them in the spring, 1 week each year, you're catching in a 30-minute show, which, they got commercials too. You're looking at, hours and hours and days. A lot of times there was the one show that they did, it was a total of, I think, 7 days of hunting and made one show. The crazy. 4 turkeys they killed. And the hours and the effort put into it by all of us. But those guys, I that first trip, that they made believers out of me because they would just grind, and they worked so stinking hard to get those things on video like that. I mean, they worked harder than I ever believed, and good guys too. By the way, all of them are just like the rest of us. They're not prima donnas or anything. None of that stuff. Those guys work their tails off. Super, super nice guys. Become very good friends of mine. Just like Eddie, just like everybody else. And I've learned that the guys that are successful are the guys that just don't quit. They just keep going. They just keep going. Always have more failures than they have successes when it comes to harvesting birds. But like I said, every time you have an encounter, that's a success because you've learned something.
Yes.
But yeah, it goes back to what I was saying. The people that I have met over the years that have been friendly, that have been willing to share, willing to include other people in, willing to do whatever they can to help, those guys always seem to be the most successful hunters. And the rest of them just seem to want to, keep everybody out so they can have their 1 or 2 turkeys that they might be able to get on. I'd much rather hang out with people who want to be, just be fun to be around. I don't want to fight and argue and all that stuff. I want to be around people that make it fun, make it enjoyable. Because, the hunting is great. The turkey hunting is great. The turkeys are obviously incredible. But what good is it if you don't have people to share it with that feel the same way you do about it?
You're right.
That's really what makes it all come together for me. I love sharing it with other people that appreciate it and enjoy it as much as I do, because to get to go back and talk about it and share those experiences and relive them, when you just like we did at that hunt we talked about early on in the conversation.
Yes.
I mean, we got to experience that together, and nobody else on the planet out of the whole 8 billion people on the planet got to be there that morning except us 4.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
And that's something we'll carry the rest of our lives.
Oh, it's a memory that stands out with me. And I think about it, especially, almost all year round. If turkey hunting comes up, that's my main, highlight of any hunt. I've hunted for years, just like Dustin, you have, but gosh, just to be there and experience something like that, it's just unbelievable. And
well, sure, and then to be able to share it again and relive it in the future with people that shared it with you. I mean, that's what it's all about.
It is, and it makes me excited to know what's next. Well, I mean, what's my next fondest memory that's going to be made? I mean, we're only here for a certain amount of years, and even if you make it a lot of years, you can only hunt a certain amount of years. I mean, you just get to that age where you can't do it. So that's why, I try to go and do now. Thank goodness for Dustin over there pushing me to get out of the state of Alabama and do a little travel hunting. We've seen and done things, and Steve is no, I'm not exaggerating this a bit. We have never met a person that wasn't good to us on these whole trips. I'm talking about.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. I mean, from border. Yeah, we went into Canada last year. We're going back again this year. But I'm just talking about. We showed up in Nebraska. We didn't know a soul. We didn't even know where we was hunting other than what we'd seen on Onyx. Didn't know how to hunt those turkeys. And it's a whole different type of hunting. But we found places to eat, and people just walk up like, "What are y'all doing?" and just want to talk and carry on, and maybe point you in the right direction or tell you what they've seen or done. It's just other hunters too.
Mm-hmm.
It's been amazing to me, and I'm just proud to be a part of. I don't like calling hunting industry. I don't like the industry part of it. I'm just proud to be a part of this hunting family. I call us
there you go.
We're a tie
society.
Yeah, well, something. And there's something even different between a deer hunters and turkey hunters. I'm around deer hunters all winter long. Down there where I deer hunt, I'm the only turkey hunter, although we don't have any turkeys anymore on our place. They clear cut us a few years ago. It's just too thick. But, we're a different breed of people. And, and I'm proud of it. If it wasn't for turkey hunting, Dustin and I never met you. Surely wouldn't have met Eddie. I'm still amazed. Eddie I'm 61 years old, and Eddie's 74 or 5 now. He was my hero when I got into turkey hunting. I mean, he was the man. He wasn't an OG back then. He was just the man. And now to see, Dustin, I was talking about this, just to look down at your phone when it rings and it's Eddie Salter calling you, and he's just checking in. Just checking in. I'm going, it's crazy. I cannot believe somebody like that just calls me to see how my turkey season's doing, or just I hadn't talked to you in a while. I'm going to check on you, which has kind of taught me something though. I get so busy with work and family and everything else that sometimes I don't touch base with people like I should. And I've been trying to do that. I try once a day to call somebody I hadn't talked to in maybe a month or two, just to say hi.
Right.
But yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I was driving down the road up here in Coleman, Alabama one day. I looked down, it's Eddie calling me and said, "Hey buddy, I hadn't to see how your season's going, just to chit chat, isn't
that something?
It is something. Yeah. Well, I mean,
you're right though. I've found so many good people. That's just been. I've made so many friends, and that's what I was saying earlier. It's if you get bit by it, it's a fellowship that very few people. I say very few people that less people are a part of than anything else that I know. As far as countrywide, I mean, you look into if there's a city of 100,000 people, how many of them are turkey hunters?
Mm-hmm.
It's just not a big number. And when you meet one, 99 times out of 100, most of the ones I've ever met have just been awesome people. And so I'm like you, I'm proud to be a part of the clan.
You and me both.
Yeah. But it's just, it's something special and something we ought to cherish. And I think, something we ought to take good care of the resource and the habitat, anything we can do to make it better. I'm all for, and I'm proud to be a part of it. But
we've said it 100 times. We ain't never met nobody better than you. You got a servant's heart. I have no doubts if I called and asked you to help me with something, if there's any way you could do it, you'd do it. And that's the kind of people we've met and proud to know. So,
well, that's awful kind of you. I appreciate that. I never would have thought that.
Well, when you share a tree with somebody, and I mean, we've only spent probably less than 10 days together as far as, in the hunting world, but out in the woods and that kind of thing, you somebody, you can tell somebody's character real quick.
You can,
it just comes out. And
yep.
So, yeah,
I agree.
Well, before we go or get off of here, tell everybody about Southern Home Hunting and how they can get a hold of you or talk to you or just give us a little information somebody can get that might want to set something up with you down the road or something.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Southern Grown Hunting is just something I came up with, just a brand that I came up with. I was thinking about, hunting in the South is different than anywhere else. The hunting across the nation, regions have their own kind of, their own kind of lifestyle that goes along with it. And hunting in the South is just obviously a big deal. And we have our own way of doing things, and there's a lot of different places in the South. Just habitat wise, there's so many different things that we hunt down here. But people that hunt, like you said, are just good people, and take care of each other, take care of the land, take care of the resource, and so I wanted a place where I could take somebody like Jesse Fish and introduce them to hunting in a way that is, first of all, teaching them the right way, teach them about the North American model of, wildlife management. Why do we do what we do? Safety, all those things. But it's also just about sharing the successes and the lifestyle with other people. And so, I've got a Facebook page, I've got Instagram, YouTube channel. We've got a website where we got hats and things like that. And it's one of those places where I had a young man reached out to me from, he was in Gainesville, Florida, and he's going to the construction school. And he's he's actually HVAC. His uncle is running the business, and he's older. And this young man's 21 years old. He reached out to me because he wanted to learn how to bow hunt. And so this past year, I brought him over to the house, and I taught him everything I could teach him about bow hunting. And we got him. He got a stand. We went out and put a stand up. We got everything ready. Got him a safety harness. He didn't have a safety harness. We just really worked with him. Took me, a few days, evenings, things like that. And then we finally got to go on the first deer hunt, and he was able to take a doe, a nice big healthy doe, with his bow, made a perfect shot, which I was just thrilled about, and recovered the deer. And he was able to get his first deer with a bow. And I was there, and to see the look on his face when all that happened, and just the absolute, elation that he had, was I wouldn't have, if I would have killed just a big deer myself, I wouldn't have been nearly as happy and excited as I was for him. And so getting to share that first archery deer with him this past fall was like doing it all over again for the very first time. And so it's about bringing new people in, teaching them the right way, but it's also about sharing the experiences with people who are seasoned like me. And so we're faith-based. We're not bashful about our faith. I'm not bashful about my love for the country, love for my family, and love for the outdoors. And so that's really what it's all about. But if I can reach people for the kingdom, and I can bring new people in, and I can share experiences with other people like y'all, I mean, what more could a guy ask for? And so that's what Southern Grown Hunting is all about. It's just a place to do all those things, and to do our best to make the world a better place, to make the outdoors a better place. And so it's been a lot of fun.
Well, no, you do the work. I mean, you practice what you preach. Anybody listening to this, everything you've said, you do. And, I appreciate, I think Dustin too, we appreciate just, there's not a whole, like you said, there's not a whole lot of you out there, people that can do what you do and have the patience and the heart to do it. So, and I commend you for that. And we just appreciate.
Well, I appreciate that. God graces us, but I tell you, it's sharing it with somebody new, especially. There's it takes patience. It does take some things. You have to have patience with people, and they're going to mess things up from time to time. But when you see that smile come across that face, it's
yeah.
And they keep up with you too. They always have a special place in their heart for you because you took time to get them started.
Well, you've taught them a skill that nobody can take away. They can carry it with them the rest of their life and hopefully teach other people.
Pass it on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pass it on. That's it. My wife's one, and she's not a hunter. I was talking to her about this one day. I said, I just, I don't need something else to do. Y'all know that, with my work schedule, but I'm telling you, it was just been in my heart to do it. And she said, I don't think you understand the skill set it takes to get started hunting when you've never had, because I just grew up in it, and she said, I don't think you understand the skill set. And so I sat back and analyzed, if I was somebody that had no background in hunting at all, how would I get started? And, it was a shock to me to think about what it takes to get started nowadays if you know absolutely nothing. And it's very intimidating to people. And so if just the offer to help people is navigate all that. I mean, by the time you think about, they don't know anything. And so if you think about access, to land and just the equipment and the biology of the animals and the life cycles and all the things that we just take for granted because we know, they don't know anything.
We've had a lifetime. We were lucky. We had a lifetime. We had parents or a father or mother, whoever, that taught us.
They don't know what a scrape is. They don't know what a rub is. They don't know what a tarsal gland is. They don't know a deer has a sense of smell. They don't know anything about a turkey's vision. They don't know anything about a grunt call. They don't know anything. They don't even understand. They have no knowledge of the breeding cycle of deer and turkeys and the fall and the spring and how it works and the rut. They don't know what a rut is. They think a rut's a ditch in the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I know.
And so you're taking somebody that knows literally nothing, or then maybe they know enough to be dangerous, and you're helping to mold it, into something that actually works. But man, when you succeed in getting somebody to, number one, doing it safely. That's the biggest thing. You want them to be safe. and then teach them that there's a legal side to it, and you're able to get them through to it. It really is a great feeling when you pass it on. And I encourage other people to do the same thing. It's a lot of joy in it. And like I said, you make friends for life. These, Jesse and the other people like, the young man I took in the fall, just all the different ones. They're always checking in on you.
Mm-hmm.
How are you doing? What you're in? And it makes you feel good, especially as you get older. You start thinking, well, maybe some of these guys will come around, and when I get too old where I can't drive or something like that, maybe they'll come around and take me to the woods.
Come help out around the farm.
That's what Dustin says he's going to do for me. He said he's going to come check me out in nursing home, take me hunting.
Anyway, that's what Southern Grown Hunting's all about. It's just about passing it on and sharing the experiences.
Well, good deal. Well, look, I know we've held you for about an hour. We do appreciate you coming on. I mean, unless we've missed something you want to tell the world, or drop me and Dustin a few pins privately, buddy. But no, we do appreciate it. I mean, I know you work a full-time job just like we do, and it's getting late in the evening. And just want you to know how much we appreciate you coming on and sharing Southern Grown Hunting story and your story for that matter. I mean, really, Southern Home Hunting is you. So I appreciate it.
And I look forward to coming back and drinking a Cafe Leche with you sometime soon.
Cafe con leche. That's right. I forgot about that.
Well, and
take y'all to the Cuban place.
I go to Cedar Key once or twice a year, and I was down there for New Year's, but I think you were hunting. I think you might have been. You were somewhere. Well, you was in the middle of
Alabama.
You was in the middle of Alabama rut and wedding plans. So I didn't bother you. I was going to call you. I told my wife, I said, we're going to head over there and get one of those coffees before I leave. And I never did make it over there to it, but
they send me an email every day and I'm so upset because I can't go.
I had one yesterday.
I wish they would franchise out it this way.
Me too.
So,
and a guava and cheese pastry.
Oh, they're so good. Oh my goodness.
We'll have to get y'all back down here and do some turkey hunting.
Yes, sir. We look forward to doing it one of these days. Maybe it won't be too long.
We need to plan a trip to Texas. You still wanting to go to Texas?
Bad. I got a guy wearing me. Actually, Eddie's nephew is wearing me out about getting a Rio. That's all he needs to finish his slim. And I've never hunted anything but Easterns and Osceolas, so I'd like to go ahead and get a Rio and a Merriam lined up. So we need to get going.
Well, let's try to work on that for maybe next season. And
that's a good idea. Let's see if we can make that happen.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, it does. Let's make that happen.
We will. We'll put that on the books because we've been wanting to go back to Texas ever since we've been. So it's a different world out there, different turkey. So
let's all kidding aside, let's make that happen. I think timing is right.
I think we should. Well, I think we should. But,
yeah.
Well, good deal. I think this is a great place to land the plane at, and we appreciate you coming on tonight, Steve.
Oh yeah,
enjoyed it, guys. Thank you for having me.
And we'll talk to you soon. Steve is a great guy. If you ever get a chance to go down and hunt with him, maybe hunt with him and Eddie Salter, I'd highly recommend it. He is truly a Southern gentleman, and I'm proud to call him my friend. And if we got nothing else, we'll talk to you guys in about a week. So take care of your trees because that's where the turkeys sleep.